Hi everyone, I'm Manvendra, and as Mohit said, currently I'm working in Microsoft. So you asked me about the journey. So Microsoft is my second company. Before this, I was working in Citrix System for 2.5 years, and I've completed over 1 year in Microsoft as well. So yeah, that's a little brief about me. And now the question, like, let's go one by one. More, I mean, there's like so many of them. So uh, one of them, I think you asked me, is like the challenges and how I've prepared for the companies. So I think, like, I'll say there's a two parts to it. One is like when I prepared for Citrix, and another one is like when I was preparing second time after 2.5 years of experience. So for the first part, like I was in college, and like I used to do like as anyone else would have been doing right now. So DSA's questions that are definitely the must things that you need to have a grasp over all the different topics that are there. So be it algorithm or be it data structures. So apart from that, like you need to have good basics. I mean, your fundamentals should be very strong, be it in OOPS or be it in database, then in computer networks. So these are on the top of my mind, which is required. And when you're preparing after like 2.5 years or something, then I'll say that you should be knowing about a lot of different concepts as well, which will be like be it from the HLD side and system design, and some things from LLD, low level design, some design patterns and different solid principles. So you should be aware about those things as well. And whatever work that you have done, well, you should be well versed into that. So yes, we can take a deep dive into each and everything, like based on the people that are here. That if you want to know any particular thing, then let's take a deep dive in such questions.
So, just giving you a background about most of the students who have joined today.
Hmm.
So all the students that have joined are mostly in their fourth year. So they have completed their third year and they are now moving to the fourth year. And in next 2 to 3 months, they will be having their placements, right? And all the companies in their college will be coming. So from that perspective, if you want to throw some light on the how students can prepare in this particular period of a time, because 2 to 3 months is not a very big time to prepare everything. So if a student wants to go to a good company like Microsoft or some big tech companies, so how do they prepare in such a shorter period of a time, and what will be the strategy? That you have followed in during your time? So those questions are these two questions are there.
Okay. I think 2 months is a good time, Mohit. So what you can do is like if you guys are having 2 months, then break it down that you spend major in your DSA part, because as a college graduate in starting at least one or two rounds, people will be just asking you about DSS questions from different topics. So make sure that you guys spend a good amount of time on each and every topics of DSS. Now the thing is, like, I myself, like, when you talk about my college experience, like, there's one thing, like, don't spend, like, when I say spend time on the topics and everything, don't spend in particular too much time to one question, and don't be quick enough to go and check the solutions as well. So it should be like an ideal time, like let's say when you're solving a question, give it a time like for an hour or something, then switch to the next question. Maybe next day when you are again starting your routine, then give it a time to like 15 minutes or 20 minutes and see like if you can come up with some approaches how to solve the questions. Like, are you able to make out the brute force? If you're able to make out the brute force, then see like where you can make things optimize, where you can make things better. So wire your brain in such a way that when you're solving a problem, that you see, okay, this is one problem, then that's the solution of that problem. which will be like a brute force. Once you're able to make a brute force solution, then see in the brute force solution what are the places where you can optimize things, which is the part of the logic that is taking the most time, and then try to optimize it. So this will be the approach. But honestly, I've seen some people, even I myself, like, there were some certain questions where I've spent like hours and hours and hours, days and days, just to get them solved without looking at the solution. And I believe that that was not necessary, because like there were some questions where, like, there were like some particular, let's say, when the formula is coming, or in some algorithms, which it's okay. I mean, like, you might not be able to make it out when you're trying to give it a time. So a smart way will be like, you have given enough thought, enough thinking how you can solve it, and then you should go and check it out. Now, another thing which I think even I have developed even today is like, even if I'm able to solve a questions in a DSA, I do look for a solution. So once I've solved it, it got like marked as like completed. Then also I go back to some or the other website and check like what are the other solutions to that problem. So what that does, it basically it helps me in broadening like how you can approach to that questions in different ways. So this is must. Now another part of your interview will be like where people will be asking you questions about the fundamentals of OOPS, computer network, how well you are good with database management, and all those subjects. So how did I prepare for myself is like, I used to like randomly go on Google and search like top 100 questions, top 50 questions, and one by one I just read the questions and answer them. Okay, these are top 50 questions of OOPS that are usually asked. And I used to answer it and just go back. Okay, these are the points that I need to look into it. These are the topics that maybe, okay, I need to again brush up. So that's how I have prepared for it. Now, the third part of an interview, which is present, is like basically about the projects that you guys have done. So you should be very well versed of like what projects that you have done. In those projects, if it's possible, just try to, you do need to, like, if possible, try to add certain theory that you have implemented in your project. So, for example, like in my case, there was a simple police station database management system which I've created. And I remember that I recently read about this topic called consistent hashing, and I was just seeing how I can implement that in the project that I've done. And when I did it, I highlighted that particular part of the keywords that, okay, this is present, and I read very deeply about it. So when I'm going to give interview, that the interviewer going to see, okay, that they have done project. Under the project, there is one particular theory that people are very well versed about it. So when they see that as a highlighted, they ask things around that only. Okay, so what do you know about it? Describe this project. Why do you think there was an issue? What about like without this algorithm, how your project will work? What difference it is creating? So those will be the questions that will be around your projects. That what are the problems that you have faced, and how do you decided to overcome those problems in your project? So I think if you spend a good amount of time, maybe like, let's say, once you have completed your project, 2 3 days into like to understand in and outs of the project. So I think, yeah, these are the 3 points, or three, I'll say, different possible things that can happen during an interview: your DSA, your fundamentals, and about your projects or about your internship that you have done.
Okay, great. So the key points that you have highlighted about DSA focusing on fundamentals and about projects. Now, a student who is able to prepare all these three topics in detail and having an interview. So, what are the pro tips that because for these students, interview is the first time thing that they will be appearing
Mm,
for. So, how they can prepare for those interviews, because now they have done the fundamentals, done DSA
mhm.
part that you have explained, and also may have a good project on their resume. But what they can expect a different thing for an interview specific.
Mm. So one different thing in interview is the nervousness that you might have not felt it when you're preparing it. So the very first time when you're giving interview, now there is a little bit nervousness that you will going to encounter it. And I'll suggest like what I have done is like there were some seniors of mine, so they took my mock interview type of things, and just to get myself familiarized, what are the do's, what are the don'ts, like how I should be focusing my eyes, how should I be, behaving when I'm into an interview. So those will be like this will be the very first thing to fight your nervousness. Make sure that you get some mock interviews and you just fight against your nervousness. Second point is like about feeling bad when you're not able to answer it, you know. So when you are into an interview, there are times like they will going to ask some questions which you might not be aware of it. You can find a smart way to like, okay, I have done something similar and I know about that, but I'm not sure if this is related to that. If it is, then I think this is what it will do. Because a lot of time what happens is like if you try to give a wrong answer, the interviewer try to grill you down like uh, to to into that direction only, that if you believe that this happens in this way, then why this way? I mean, they will ask you question number one, two, three, and you will be keep going into the wrong way till you realize, okay, you're in a wrong way, and you might feel bad about it. But I want you to know is that it's okay to not know some of the questions, like some of the answers to those questions. It's really okay. So when you're giving an interview, make sure that okay, it's a learning session for you as well. Okay. So if you don't know the answer, then maybe like after the interview is over, you can look into it, you can understand the concepts around them, and you can get stronger for your next interview. So yeah, these two things you can keep in mind.
Got it. Got it. Great. So, so while preparing for things that you have highlighted, that nervousness is a big part of an interview. That while preparing, students are not able to face it or understand it. So, one more thing. So, while preparing for the interviews specifically, and a student needs a guiding session. So, like what we have put a guiding session today. So, if a student needs a guidance. How
Mhm.
they can seek and whom they can seek for the guidance while preparing for the interviews and placements.
So one, as I mentioned, is like definitely your seniors if they are there, because you need to contact your seniors and ask them about how their interview went. Then another way will be like if you have some networking with some people who are already in the industry, then they can help you in preparing, like giving you uh, what questions you can expect, or what kind of things that okay, you have prepared this resume, that is it good enough, and you know uh, around those things like um, they can have a mock session. I think that's one thing, and once you have a mock session, you do feel better about it because you know what to expect and what not to do it. So practice is what can fight your nervousness. I think that's
Mhm.
it. It's not like uh, you would do this and so it's more of like once more, the more you practice, the less the nervous you will feel.
Okay, okay, great. So, from this particular thing, there is one more question that how a student can evaluate himself. So, because there are so many topics that we have in DSA, there are so many topics in fundamentals and projects. So, there are so many topics, and each topic is having a great depth, right? So, how do students evaluate themselves that I'm good in this particular topic, I'm good in this particular topic? So, how do they evaluate themselves in their preparation journey? And where they stand, how they can evaluate.
So from very outer surface, I can say it's the confidence, like Mohit. So like if I ask the people that are here that if you try to solve the question for like a linked list or like stack, you like once you have solved a lot of question there, how confident you feel. If you feel, you say that I feel confident about that, and they are able to solve questions, then they you can consider it that you have done a great work over those questions. But the question is basically, I think, quantifying. You're asking about the evaluation thing. So once you feel that you are confident, one way you can look at is like when you're trying to solve the questions, see like out of 10 questions, you are able to solve at least like I'll say 7 questions, and you're able to make out the brute force approach for each questions. So that way, at least you will know when a problem comes to you by like any means you're able to find ki, okay, this will be the brute force solution. Certainly there could be one or two some mathematical questions or maybe some different algorithm questions that you might not be aware of it, but at least just try to grill it down like you're able to solve with the brute force. That's one thing, you're done with that. And out of 10 questions, I'll say like 7 questions you are able to solve in an efficient way. That could be one good parameter to for you to know that you are doing good in the DSA side. Now about uh, the fundamentals. So fundamentals, like if you want to know about how well you're doing, I'll say again, just go to Google or just search it for like top 50 questions, top 100 questions, and see that you are able to answer most of those questions. And I think yeah, that's how you can evaluate yourself, how well you're prepared for the. And yeah, and one more thing, as I said,
Mhm.
like when you are going into interview, like maybe your first interview, second interview, like if you have some amount of confidence, then you can tell yourself that yes, you are prepared for it. But there could be some times like you might not be able to get to the question, but it's okay. So that's how I
Is
think you can evaluate.
got it. Is really mock interview giving mock interviews before an actual interview does help to the students, or how it is?
Yeah, it definitely helps, Mohit.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
And so I have couple of questions that the students have mentioned in the form that we have shared earlier. So
Mhm.
most of the students are asking about the resume shortlisting. So many of them would be applying through offline mode, or not on campus opportunities, going for off campus opportunities. So there they are mentioning that the resume shortlisting is a very big tedious task. So how do they maximize the rate of shortlisting? So uh, that is a question that students are asking. Yeah.
Okay. What I do is like, uh, highlight to shortlist your resume. I think from college thing, they usually have a CGPA is there. I think the baseline of the CGPA, and then like you have to give your first common test, which is given by everyone. So I think from college perspective, you should be good if you're being able to. Uh, I mean, if you're able to pass that exam and that thing. Now, but if you're trying to apply openly to some companies, then the way you're going to get shortlisted is based on the technologies, the tools, and the theories that you have used in implementing the projects and the things that you know. So, apart from that, how well you have participated in hackathon, and if you have won any competition, those will help you to stand out in um, make your resume stand out. So yes, these things are again important as well.
Oh,
So for example, as I said, like I added like this consistent hashing and in system design, like if I've implemented some certain topics, see, let's say I'm using REST APIs, or if I'm using something with gRPC or XYZ. So those things are going to make you stand out. One more thing which basically helps in stand out is if you have contributed to any open source project. So such things basically help understand, okay, that there's some they have worked on a large project, they have knowledge of things, or even if they're very well versed with Git and all. So make sure you highlight those things, because the talent recruiter basically looks for resume, they search for those keywords first. Like they are looking for all those technologies for the job role. And then that's how like the first resume are sorted, and then they choose among them which fits the best.
okay, great, great, great. So next one is related to the software engineers who are upcoming software engineers, because
Mhm.
they all are freshers, and how they can be relevant in the upcoming years in the industry, because there are so many other roles that are exploding now in industry, and what they are learning is the core concepts and fundamentals. So how do they be relevant in the industry? So next question is that.
Be relevant as in like do you mean like uh, I mean what exactly do they mean by being relevant,
So
as in
so
yeah.
yeah, I can understand from the question is everyone is learning the basics and fundamentals. For example, DSA and core concepts that are very important
Uh-huh.
for the industry. But now there are certain different roles of AI coming in and having different roles AI as an AI engineer. So how do freshers keep up with the different technologies and terms so that they are become so they can be relevant in the industry in upcoming future?
Okay, so I mean, the first thing is definitely that you have to be very strong at your fundamentals, your base, those things. Now, if you want talking about the relevancy, then this will always remain relevant. The baseline is always going to remain relevant. Now, about as AI is coming into the picture, it's like it's more about like can you use AI when you're implementing a project. So we talked about um, creating a project by yourself. So you can basically put like I tried to create a project by using GitHub Copilot or XYZ things. As I there are a lot of sites, so I try to explain them and then I try to fine tune the code. So those are the things you can learn, like how you can use such tools to make your productivity increase. So that will be the thing, I think, if that's what you're asking.
Okay, yeah. Next question. So moving to the next question. So yeah, so yeah, so this is more oriented to Microsoft specific. So the student is asking if they want to prepare for specifically for Microsoft and what are the skill sets or what are the technologies that they need to focus on apart from the fundamentals. Is there any change in the pattern of questions that are being asked in the upcoming years?
Uh, I mean, like recently, okay, even I have taken some interviews in the Microsoft, like from Microsoft, I've
Okay.
taken some interviews. So, and as I know, even my colleagues that they were taking the interviews. So it's not like we are looking for some like totally new things or like, I mean, I don't know what exactly you mean by the new things here. But if we're talking about like AI, ML, and those things, then if we are applying for from the data side role, then definitely those people are going to ask you questions around what do you know in AI and what do you know around ML side. But if you're going to ask about some roles related to the backend engineers or your front end engineers, whichever role that you're applying for, then the questions will be around those things only. And definitely the process will be same. Like we are going to start with some DSS questions that will be there. So once your DSS are strong, we know okay the candidate's good with the DSS. Then we are going to ask about the fundamentals, and along with the fundamentals, we are going to ask about the projects and the work that they have done so far. And we might give them scenarios and topics like, okay, what if like we make a change into your this project? How you're going to make changes in your project if this thing was added as a problem statement to you. Let's say we added a scalability thing or something else, then how you're going to deal with it. But yeah, so more or around it will remain the same. I think 2 out of 3 rounds for a college grad, as you said, Mohit, most of them are college students. So for college grade, I think for first 2 rounds will be around DSAs only, DSAs and fundamentals, and one round could be around your project and things that you might have done differently.
Mhm. Got it. So I can see from the questions there are 2 to 3 personas that are being built here. So one
Mhm.
persona is of a beginner where he has done a normal project and a basic concepts of DSA. So what is your recommendation to them? Second persona is there where a student is at intermediate level and have done good questions in DSA and having a core fundamental background of having a good background of fundamentals. And the third persona is a person who is at an advanced level and have done all the questions, all type of different patterns that are being asked in DSA. So how would you guide them? So these are the three personas that are we dealing with. So for each persona, what is your specific guidance how to move forward?
So the first persona, like the first thing is like to clear the baseline. So for creating the baseline, the only thing is like practice, practice, and practice. If you want to save some time, there are certain sites like must do questions of Geeks for Geeks, or there's Striver list or Striver SD list, and then there is I think some blind questions, blind 75 questions, as well as in code forces and all. So you can start by at least making sure that you have solved all those basic level of questions. So if you haven't, then you need to sit down, you need to practice, and you need to clear the baseline. Now, talking about the second persona, which is like intermediate level, and if they have done, if they have gone got confidence about like what they've solved the questions and the fundamentals are strong, then I'd suggest like have some mock interviews, and then apart from that, you can work on your projects. So you can contribute to some open source if possible. That will be a huge highlight to your resume. And yep, that's the one. And about the third one, people who are at advanced level, then I say that if your confidence with your project fundamentals, TSAs, and everything that you feel is good, you can set aside some time for keep for the, I mean, your all these things. And apart from that, just look for some hackathons, participate in that, try to stand out on those hackathons, as well as I'll suggest like you guys should reach out to people from industry in LinkedIn. So list down the companies that you want to go into it, and once you have list down those companies, look for the available job IDs that are there in those companies. And once you've got the job ID, see who are the people or alumni from your college who are working on that. If not, then you can try randomly, and you can try contacting those people that, hey, this is the job ID. I think it matches with my skill set and all. And it will be great if you can refer me. So likewise, you can start applying outside the uh, college itself. So yes, I think that's what can be done.
Um, so talking about resume, so what is the so this is very not a new question, but yeah,
Hmm.
everyone has this particular question in mind even after preparing a good resume and putting it down into different platforms and checking the score. So what would be an ideal structure that that one can follow and can pass through the systems as well as through human as well. So what will be the structure for a one resume if you want to answer? Yeah.
Uh, I mean, it, it should be a little bit about yourself, a brief about yourself, like what you are good with. There are, everyone is good at some certain technologies. So they might be like you have spent a very good amount of time in blockchain technology. Some might have spent a good amount of time in AI ML side, and some might have done a good enough web development side. So whatever are your good things, just make a 3 to 4 lines of about yourself, then about your education that you have done, your CGP and everything. Then there should be a section about the skills that you have. So what are the skills? Any letter of recommendation, any kind of internship that you have done. So about the your experience. In that experience, you can write about any kind of internship that you have done. Make sure that you highlight what kind of tools that you have used, what kind of things that you have seen when you have worked on that project. Then some standout things is like, if in just in case if you have published any paper, you have participated in hackathon. And participate is not relevant if you have win any hackathon. And if during that hackathon, if you have built something, then you can again use it as a project at that site. So a one pager is good enough, because a one pager gives even the one who is taking an interview just to see, okay, what are the highlights of that resume. And based on that, we can decide, okay, what to ask and what not to. So keep it crisp and keep it to the point. I'm just seeing like if my resume is there system, then I can share one with you just to give you guys an idea. Yep, Amoit, meanwhile you can ask me any other question. It's there. I'm just
Yeah,
checking if I have
surely.
it handy. Yep.
Yeah, that is the one question that I have personally. So, so what are the insights or what are the things that Microsoft is building for everyone? So what are the insights of being working at a big organization like Microsoft? So, anything related to that? I just want to ask it. This is my question, by the way.
I mean, insights as in like,
different things. So how is the work culture, and how things are different from a student perspective? What are the things that can be done different in how people work and collaborate? So how everything
okay,
works in Microsoft? Yeah,
okay, how things work in Microsoft, or this like for major of our audience, like how things are different at a college and how things are different at an industry level like Microsoft. I assume this is the question that we're trying to differentiate.
yes, yes, definitely. Yeah,
Okay. So one thing at college when we're doing is it's like for very less people, we are not thinking about the efficiency, we're not thinking about the scalability, and we are definitely not thinking about working on a large project where a lot of people are there. So that is one thing which basically stands out. It's like three things. So which stands out between all of these, between what you're doing at college project or what we're doing at an industry project. So plus you get to know that a lot of new things that's happening, new technologies and new algorithms. So one perk which I feel of working in Microsoft is like, a lot of things which I have read recently in books, like be it from the low level design, like design patterns, or if I've read any algorithm to scale things. So I work in Copilot. Uh, in Copilot Studio, there we are create like conversational bot features for conversational bot and things. So the latency is one thing. How people are working on latency to decrease it. How things are implemented. It's something like really you feel good to know, oh okay, so I have read in the book and that's how the people there have implemented it. So that's one thing I feel good about working on Microsoft in Copilot. And the difference, as I mentioned, is like those three about working on a big project and um, the other two that I mentioned. Yep. So
great, great, great.
mm,
So about scalability and having a production level application that we see in organization, that is totally different from what students built in their projects and internships. Right, right. So the last, I hope I have covered all the questions. So the last question is related to a suggestion or a guidance that you can give to all the students, because these students will be having their placements after 2 months. So what are one key guidance or a pro tip that you can give to all the students? Uh, that is my last
one
question.
one pro tip, I think I have covered how you can prepare all of these things. Apart from that, there's one thing like guys, like if you're going into an interview, and I know like when a company come into a college, it's not going to hire everyone. Like there will be 4 or 5 people who will make out to the last part. So don't feel bad about it. Like I wish someone would have been there to tell me the same as well. It's like a part of process that you're doing it. So keep up your confidence that you have and keep moving forward. So basically, like I do remember this one thing that's definitely helps me, like always moving forward, and I want to share it with you as well. It's a saying in Hindi which basically goes like, बिना मेहनत के हासिल तख्त और ताज नहीं होते, बिना मेहनत के हासिल तख्त और ताज नहीं होते, ढूंढ लेना अपनी मंजिल अंधेरों में, क्योंकि जुगनू कभी रोशनी के मोहताज नहीं होते. So make sure that you don't give up. Just keep practicing and don't feel bad about it. If you're not able to get into some one particular company, there are plenty of companies and a lot of opportunities there. So keep working hard and keep applying to the companies. That's will be my one pro tip.
Okay, great. That line is very good, inspiring a lot. Thank you, Manvinder. So I have covered all the questions from my side. If any of the student has any question, they can raise their hand and ask in the forum. So we'll take all the questions in next 5 to 10 minutes. If you guys have any question, open to you, everyone.
Mohit, let them unmute and speak. Like that'll be great. Is it
Yeah,
fine?
yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. They can unmute
Okay.
and ask. Yeah.
Hi, sir. This
Hey,
is
hi
Devyans.
Devansh. Yep. Hi.
This is your second session which I have joined, and
Okay.
you have clarified each and everything, and especially I love that the last slide which you have said in Hindi that has motivated me a lot, and I do believe in that. Let's do the hard work. Let's stick on the basics, and manzile to aa jayegi. Right. I have a one question which I
Yes.
have
Yes.
faced, which I have faced in my college. My resume were not shortlisted because my resume been generated from the college system. So I think it is related to the academic performance or the project performance, which I have also seen that, right. So most of the company has rejected my resume. Whereas I have worked on my resume building and I have prepared a resume which is looking same. And off the campus, wherever I have, that send the resume, 90% time the resume has been selected. I wanted to learn a technique from you, how to convince the college that the system generated resume probably is not working for me. So can you upload what resume I have made? I'm from Thailand, and I'm finding it a little bit difficult to convince my teachers or faculty. So, what is your suggestion in that?
Devansh, I think I just lost you in between, but just to rephrase your question, in short thing, you're asking about like, so there might be some companies coming with certain CGPA and you're not able to get past that
No, no,
particular
not
barrier.
exactly that. Not exactly that. The resume which is generated by SRM portal for myself and the resume
Okay.
which I have built up offline, there is a major difference. My offline resume is getting more attracted, and the companies are calling me for interviews and other internship program. Where is the resume which is extracted from college application? Most of the time I got the rejection. I just wanted to convince my management and faculty that please use my offline resume. How to approach? I can say that how to approach those people to just use my offline resume.
Uh, so I am not sure how things happen in SRM, but based on what you're saying, seems like the college creates a standard resume. I mean, a standard resume template for each and every student, and then based on that, like the people need to decide. So I don't see a problem. Like if just in case, like you're applying from outside the college itself, and if people are looking at your resume, um, then I don't understand what's the issue. I mean, you can get the placement from inside the campus or outside the campus. It's as per your wish, because there have been some friends of mine who have got the job off campus and they're doing very well. Now, your question is basically on how to approach the faculty on convincing them. I'm not sure if I'm the right person, but if it's in the standard, it's there in the college, then I'm not sure what I can do here or how I can guide you here to approach the faculty. In that case, you can go and present it like I'm getting opportunities or things like from outside. You can attach with some proof, and it'll be great if you can allow your offline resume. That's something you can add it
Thank
to
you so
your
much.
email. Yep.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Devansh. It's okay, guys. If you have any kind of questions, any sort of, you can unmute yourself and you can ask. Don't be feel like, okay, I have to phrase it this way, I have to phrase it that way. Whatever there in top of your mind, feel free to shoot it.
Hello, sir. This is Yuvraj here. I just want to ask that does the open source contributions matters a lot for the top MNCs like Fang or say other fintech like that, or if one has a good skill set in core technologies or say in development, then that open source contribution will matter or not.
It's like how you stand out. So, like, even if you ask me, if I see someone has done if someone has contributed in the open source, then I ask them what they have done, and we go ahead and think about, okay, like, is a student or a candidate who has worked upon a large projects, and what they have contributed gives us a better idea of like uh, whatever that work that they have done. So That's how open source works in, like, it helps you in standing out if you've contributed to the open source. And you're talking about, like, if you're doing a core thing, core fundamental things, then your open source will matter or not. Well, it's good to have the core thing, but the open source will, help you in getting, maybe say, shortlisted, or giving you an edge over other candidates. So that edge you can get by doing something which stands out. It could be like, you've Raj maybe published a paper, or you have done an amazing project where you've used very good technologies and all, something which stands make you stand out.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Yuvraj. I see we have one question, Aditya. Okay, you don't really need to, like, being a college student, not no one is going to ask you about the system design. I think, merely like one or two companies, if they come around, they are will going to ask you, okay, create it. I think I remember there was one company, Udan, which asked us to uh, create a book my show system. So that was it. If you want to know about the, high level things, like, in system design, what is scalability, what is availability, how you can make things consistent, how the trade-off happens between things, how do you scale, like, there's a vertical scaling, there's a horizontal scaling. So you can know about what those terms mean. You don't need to take a deep dive into, like, how to create a system itself, but you can understand what those terms mean. So that should be good enough for you, Aditya.
Hello, sir. So I had a question. I'm currently building my skills and everything on DSA and code fundamental topics, but I had a question. I had a doubt. Should I make my resume a certain topic focus? Like I work mostly on projects with ML, and that's my strong suit. So should my resume highlight that thing, or should it be spread out across multiple topics? Because I have some works related to FST or front end. So should it be more on ML side, or should it be spread out?
Anushka, so what do you want to pursue your job in? Like, where do you want to pursue your career? Do you want to make a career in AI/ML, or you want to make a career in the web development, backend side, front end side?
For now, I haven't decided it yet. I'm very confused. So I think it's just whatever I could get the maximum benefit, and like, I think that is my approach for now. But yeah, I am interested in ML side more. That's most of my projects, so I know more of it. So I'll be comfortable more if it's ML.
Okay. So what I used to do is, like, Anushka, based on the company I was applying to, I used to, like, I have, let's say I have 4 or 5 projects, and among those 4 or 5 projects, I used to select, like, there used to be 3 projects in my resume. So based on that company, I used to choose the profile, like, what kind of projects will be going good there. But it's good to have a little bit of different projects. Like, if you're putting 3 projects, then 2 projects are more than sufficient for AIML, and it's better to have one project around DMS or around that side. The reason being is, like, let's say if an interviewer is going to ask you questions and he has now worked around AIML or anything, then from your resume he'll see, okay, you have given 3 projects and all of them are in AIML side, and uh, then they won't be able to be have a line of cross questioning side. So that way it will also make sure the interviewer will have something around which he can test your knowledge that you have worked on. So just make sure it's a little diverse, not totally specific to one domain.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Anushka. Can you share your resume for reference? I'm sure I can share it, but it's the recent resume. I think the last one which I had. So that will have my 2.5 years of experience. I'll see if I can find out my college resume. If that's there, then I'll definitely share it with you, Vidhi. Aditya is asking if interview call is scheduled in few days, what we should prepare first. Very good question, Aditya. Very good question. So this is one thing I think everyone should take a note of it. Like, if you're you know that this company is going to come in next 2 3 days, then there are websites available which basically tells you about the interview experience. Even I have shared my interview experience in the website. So reading that will help you understand what kind of questions that company asks, what kind of things that they are looking for. So if there's anything that you want to brush up in your skills, you can do it. Now, one more thing, like, Aditya, uh, you have asked for a few days. I'll say, like, even before, few couple of minutes before your interview, you will should receive an email or something. Okay, that this is your interviewer, or in case if you get to know who is going to take your interviewer, if you have that couple of minutes with you, then make sure that you search about that interviewer as well. It's just good to have it. Like, honestly speaking, in one of my interview, I got some time to, like, 5 minutes to know about who is going to take my interview, and I just opened his LinkedIn profile and went through it, like what he's into and things. And there was this one quotation that he has written on his LinkedIn profile. So he just asked me some string questions and all there. So I gave, that code that he has written as an input to that string. And he was surprised by that. And that's how, like, he just started building a rapport with the interviewer as well. So that just gives you some bonus points. So yeah, these are some things that you can keep in mind a few days before, as well as right before the interview. I hope that answers your question, Aditya. One more thing, I think, since there's a little bit silence, I want you guys to know that when you're in an interview, uh, make sure that you have at least two, three questions about uh, the role that you're applying for, the company, what it does, the product. That shows that you have done your homework to know what it is about and that you're interested in it. So just make sure you have two, three good questions. Maybe one or two of them can be around the technical work that happens in the company. Okay. We have one more question. Sir, if we have a good subject knowledge but less coding knowledge, what should our approach of preparation of placement with only 2 months left? Um, just give maximum time, Giridhar, to coding. I think by coding knowledge you meant DSA. So being a programmer, that is a must quality, I'll say. So even if you know the theory, you need to know how to code. You need to know how you can understand the code that's present. So maximize your time in gaining the confidence. What I'm seeing from your question is that you're not confident about your DSA or your problem solving skill. So the only way to overcome that is start practicing more and more. Girdhar, it's not like that all the companies are going to come on just right after 2 months, right? It's a whole process. It's not like the it's not like it's just one day and everything is going to get over. It's a full process. Take your time and try to understand that it's just the practice that's going to I mean that's going to help you in gaining the confidence. Is 2 months enough? Yes, 2 months is good enough. Like, let's say if you just take up the top questions of Geeks for Geeks must do questions, I think there's some 200 questions or any other list that's there. So even if you start giving it a good amount of time every day, you should be able to achieve the goal. Okay. We have one more question. What is the correct way to ask someone for a referral? Okay. Um, the correct way, Tanushree, what I like is like when people have done their homework. So if a person who comes to me and says, "Hey, I want a referral to the company," and it usually get ignored by me. But if someone who comes says like, "Hey, this is the job, like ID which is available in your company, maybe provided with the link, and I have this skills which I believe matches with this particular um, role, then will you be kind enough to refer to me like that?" That just then takes your attention. Okay, that they know what's there in the job. Uh, that's the resume that they've given, and it does matches with that. So that's how it will be the correct way, like to ask someone for a referral. And always like whatever the company that you're looking, first look for like if there are any alumni in your college who has worked or people that you have known over LinkedIn, then reach out to them. Once you have reached out to them, if there is no one, then reach out to random people who are working into there. Also, like, just to give you some tip, don't reach out to people at a very high post because uh, I mean usually they don't have much time for this. So any people, like anyone whose experience is 5 or 6 years less than that should be good for good person who could uh, refer you. All the best, Tanushree. Any other questions which is in top of your mind? Anyone?
Just want to thank you, Manvinder, for joining us and giving such kind of a guidance and a brief session to all the students and answering all the queries. So, do you have one more query? Yeah.
No worries. Mohit, let's look. What's the query from Sonal? Can you please guide me about internships, like how to apply and which platform? I have just finished my second year. Second year, like Sonal, applying to internship is a little tricky part. Okay, I believe that was nice. So for second year, it's a little tricky, as I was saying. You can look for any company which is providing internships, like for second year, directly try googling it. But I'll suggest, like, if you have anyone, people who are already there um, in the industry, then reach out to them. Like uh, how I got an internship or a project. I'll say basically it's not an internship. It was more of like a project that I got to work when I was in towards the end of the second year. So that was like basically the alumni or the people used to have some clubs that were there, technical clubs, and people from there were working on certain projects, and we went with them, we asked with them, did something collab with our department wise, and 3 or 4 of us got a chance to work on the project. So that's how you can uh, give it a shot and try to get yourself, highlighted and know about, okay, so you're interested in this and you're good at that. But if not, like if not internship, then as I mentioned here, there are a lot of open source things that where you can contribute, and there are other projects that you can pick up and learn about it. If that's your goal, to be more productive and to take a deeper dive how how software work. Any follow-up questions, Sonal, on this?
I hope everyone got the answers, the queries that they have in their mind, and we can obviously have taken a more than an hour of Manvinder. So yeah, thank you for that.
No worries, Mohit. Like, even if they have any queries now, feel free to reach me, or you can even, if you have any certain queries, I think you can share my LinkedIn. You have already shared my LinkedIn profile with them, right, Mohit?
Yeah, yeah, I have shared with you.
Yeah, yeah. So feel free to reach out to me, guys, if you have any questions regarding how you want to prepare.
Just one thing, Manvinder, if you have your earlier resume that you used, you
Mhm.
can please share it for reference. Post after this call as well. So
Yeah, I was just trying to look in the system. It was not there. I think I have saved maybe in Drive or something.
that is the only question I feel that we have to answer. Else we have answered all the questions.
Hmm. Okay, just let me one thing. Resume. Okay, I think after the call, let me check it. I think it should be there somewhere. Just need to recheck it.
Yeah, yeah, no issues, no issues.
Okay, cool.
Okay, all right, Manvinder. Thank you for joining.
Thank you. Thank you all. All the best.
Hello, so thank you. This is Dr. Saranya from SRM, Academic Advisor of these students.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi, ma'am. Yeah. Hi.
Hi, sir. Hello.
Yes. Hi.
Yeah, we'd like to thank you so much, sir, for taking your time out of your busy schedule to be with us today and for sharing such valuable, experience and guidance with our students. Big thanks to you, sir.
No worries. It was my pleasure. Thank you for
Thank you,
inviting.
sir. And yeah, and to my students, my dear students, we hope today's session adds great value to your preparation and helps you move one step closer to your goals. Wishing you all the very best for your placement journey, students. And also, I want to thank Mr. Mohit for organizing such a wonderful session. We look forward to have more insightful sessions like this in the future. Thank you, Mohit, sir. Thank you once again.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you
you.
for the support.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay.